Hi everybody, Mrs. Gill here, and today I'm going to show you how to add animation. So I've been working on this poem right here called No Difference, and I have lots of tracks going on with lots of pieces that I'm adding. And at one point I wanted my sun to be going across the sky that I created. So let me show you. Okay. There he is. I wanted this sun right here that I drew. And in another lesson, I showed you how to change an object that you drew out on paper. Here's my sun that I drew out on paper. I wanted there to be no white background, so it's floating. Okay, so on my other video, you can watch how to remove the background and create floating objects or people. So here's the sun animated in my poem. Listen, I'm going to push the space bar to play.
So maybe the way to make everything right is for God to just reach out and turn on.
So you see my sun started on one side of the paper, one side of the screen, and it flew across to there. Well, how do you do that? So I'm going to open up my folder that I have everything saved, how to animate advanced WeVideo, because that's what we're teaching right now. So I'm going to open that. That's where I had already imported my floating objects, which I use removebg.com. Again, I have a video on that. So here is my sun that I have. And what you do is you drag it to the line you need. Now, as you see, I have 7 video lines. You can add more, but if there's space, you could put it on another line. You drag it over, and then you find where you want the object to start in your poem or your video of wherever you're having it move. And I know I want it right here where I start talking. I dragged it over, and it kind of looks like this when I drag it over. So you can make it larger or smaller, however long you want it to last. When it's orange highlighted, you can do different things with it, but one is delete. So I put it on the line where I wanted it to start and where I wanted the animation to end and it to fade away. That's a transition you can add. Once you have it on the line where you want it, and you can move it at any time, you double click on it. So here are the buttons. We have transform. You can make it larger. You can make it smaller. I can move it around. I can crop it. If I have it too large for whatever reason, I can crop it. Here's the animation button. You want to put where you want your sun to start and where you want the sun to end. When I push start, I drag it to where I want it to start, kind of on the side of there. Where I want it to end, I want it right about where my hand is. Once you have it where you think you need it, save changes. And when play it, see if you like it. That is animation.
So maybe the way to make everything right is for God to just reach out and turn on.
Perfect. I love it. Well, that's adding animation. Again, if you want to learn how to take it off the white paper so there's no white paper, and what I did was I literally photographed it using my phone, and I uploaded it to RemoveBG, let RemoveBG do its thing, saved it onto my computer, and then when I wanted to put it in my folder, I right-clicked and import here, or the import button here, whatever works for you, and brought it in here so I can build onto here. So I could change any of these objects to animation. I did have one other animation where my giant was growing, and you see here he's moving up. I couldn't get him exactly perfect, but
we're all the same size.
There you go.
When we turn up the light.
Different things you can do to your videos. Happy editing. So, guys, I have one more animation thing to show you that I actually just learned. And I'm going to go to this little guy here, where in the poem I say, large as a giant. And at first, I had him move from the bottom to the top of the screen. But now I learned I can also make my guy grow. So here's my guy that I dragged down from my folder, and I'm gonna double click him. And I'm going to push this transform button right here, these little layers, and it says start and end. In the start, I want to make him really small. Right down there, about the size of the peanut guy. And at the end, I want him really big, right about there, like my hand. And then I'm going to save changes. So this is a growing animation. Push the space bar to play.
Small as a peanut, big as a giant.
Well, I don't want him to disappear. So let me see what I could do to fix that, because I want the growing to stop there. And if I make it larger, the growing will still continue. Okay. So if I move this over, he will continue to grow over there, and I want him to stop growing there, but I still want him there. So let's try a few different things. I'm going to take this guy, another version of him. I'm going to make it the same spot as the peanut. I'm going to add a transition at the end to be the same as the peanut guy. And I'm going to move him by double clicking. I'm going to move him and scale him the same size. So let's save changes. Let's say for I have here. And that's where he ends. Let's see, right there. Okay, so that's where he is. And I brightened him, so I want to make him the same brightness. And it would definitely be better if I did this all at the same time. That way they look the same. So, well, that's pretty close. Right there. So I just need to move him over just a little bit, and he'll be perfect. Let's play it and see.
Small as a peanut, big as a giant. We're all the same size when we turn up the light.
So that is how we add animation growth. Over here, we had animation moving across the screen with the sun. And here we had the growing of my giant.
Small as a peanut.
That is how you animate.